Critical Flick. Today we'll be talking about one of the biggest summer blockbuster movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2.
Now the second installment brings back all the main players and also adds a couple new ones, which makes it really interesting.
This movie starts off action-packed with a very cool sequence in the beginning that I really enjoyed. I love the little baby Groot dancing and everything. It was very cute.
Yeah, this movie does a really good job of using its music blended with the scenes, especially when you have fight scenes and this really upbeat music. It just works perfect.
This movie is full of comedy. Practically every line's a punchline, which was funny at moments, but other times I felt like it got a little overly done.
See, I personally didn't think that. I thought that this movie had a really good blend of comedy, and I mean, there were some misses, but you're gonna have it. I know this movie had some criticism of saying that there were too many jokes and it literally never stopped, but I thought most of them, if not all of them, worked really well.
This movie is about family. It's a common theme throughout the whole film. It's about Star-Lord trying to find his father and figure out who he is and where he has been, and also deals with other family as well, with Gamora and Nebula, like their sister bond and their messed up relationship, kind of.
And I really like the relationship between Rocket and the rest of the Guardians, especially with little Groot, because it shows you why he is such a jerk to them all the time, because he's really just trying to protect himself, and I think that's an interesting family dynamic.
Yondu in this film, I feel like stole the show. It really delved into his like backstory on who he is as a person, and I actually cried one moment of him. Like, I shedded a tear.
Yeah, this movie has a lot more emotions than like a normal Marvel movie would. I mean, you had it a little bit with Winter Soldier and Civil War, but this movie, it really gets your emotions going sometimes.
Yeah.
I was really happy that they expanded on Yondu's character, because I actually met Michael Rooker, and he's really awesome, so I thought it was really cool that they gave him more to do in this movie, and it made me really excited about it.
Baby Groot, cuteness factor was like a high scale, past 10. He was breaking the meter. He was his little I am Groot running around.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, whoever decided to do that with the movie is a genius. Who decided to make the baby Groot, it's just fantastic.
Though I feel like Drax in this film, he has a little more to do than the first one, but he's pretty much just says funny lines throughout the whole film. And they kind of dive into a little bit of his backstory with his family, which was sweet, but then that gets cut off. So then it just goes back to him being funny again. So I thought that was a little odd. I wish they went into his character a little more.
I thought they did a good job of going into each of the characters' backstories and giving you a little more of their personality, because let's be honest, if you were to fully flesh out all these characters, this movie would be 4 hours long. And speaking of which, this movie is just over 2 hours, and it doesn't feel long. I never once was like, oh, this is bogging me down.
I thought it was a little... I felt it at the end. I was waiting for that end to happen. Like I said, Yondu stole a lot of the movie for me. There's one really cool action sequence with him and his arrow, and he's whistling. It's really good. Other than that, I feel like the action scenes lacked a little bit because it's nothing you haven't seen in the previous Marvel films, but I still overall thought it was pretty good. In this film, I really, I knew they were trying with the villain in this film, but I just didn't buy it.
I actually liked the villain. I thought it was one of the better Marvel villains, because his motivations were a little different than the regular villains that you usually see in a Marvel movie. And also, he had these, connections with the characters that you don't have. I mean, you have Loki, but you don't have it with these other Marvel villains.
There's definitely oh my god moment, but other than that, I just thought it got a little crazy at the end there, where I just found it so unbelievable that that's who it was. You kind of lose who is the villain at the end, because there's a lot going on between all the different Guardians, so I don't know. I'm just a little conflicted on that point.
I'll agree that there's a lot going on in some of the scenes of the movie, but they did a really good job of balancing all these characters in these huge scenes that are going on, because you have to bounce back and forth between all the Guardians. And I thought they did a really good job of that, almost like how Avengers did it. I thought the visuals were amazing in this movie, and I think that's coming from the fact that I really liked the old Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury comics and the old Doctor Strange comics, so I really like that 70s psychedelic vibe, and this movie captures it perfectly.
I see it that it captures that quality. I do feel like it was overly CGI in some parts, where I just got lost in it, but then again, it's a space type film, action flick, so that's what you expect.
So on top of having so many special effects, there was some really good makeup in this movie. Especially there was a whole race of gold people, and they did a good job of making them look good, along with obviously Drax's makeup and Yondu's makeup. So there's some good practical effects in this, along with being almost completely CGI world. At the end of the movie, it's a Marvel movie, so you know there's going to be end credit scenes. And these ones really weren't worth staying for. I'm not going to spoil them for you, but if you really want to see them and you're really dedicated to seeing it, just stay and watch them. But if you're expecting some groundbreaking stuff, it's not there.
I personally like the first one better just because it was the first one. I knew nothing going into that movie at all. And so I was really excited for this one. It kind of let me down from the trailers on the film, but it's still an overall good movie.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I think it was as good as, if not a little bit better than the first one. I really like this movie. I think it's getting some unfair criticism from people calling it mediocre. I think it's a top 5 Marvel movie. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought the visuals were amazing. I thought the characters were far more developed. I thought there were way more interesting storylines going on in this movie than there were in the first one.
So I'd give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Might seem a little harsh. I enjoyed the film. I still like the first Guardians better, but I would highly suggest go see this film.
And let us know down in the comments, what did you think about Guardians? Did you see it? Do you think it's one of the better ones? Do you think it's better than the first one? Just let us know.
Alright guys, I really hope you all enjoyed our review. If you could, hit the like button down below as well as subscribe. We would appreciate the support, and yeah.
Bye guys!